We are the griots the elders of now spoke of in prophetic psalms. It was us who waved our arms and opened our palms to ingest you into our lungs and exhale your stories. We are the keepers. It was us who lied awake at night to guard your history, and our methods are reflected in the very darkness we're protected. And to know of us, you must provide an atmosphere. But we will not speak in the presence of silence, and our intentions are not to be violent, but we come with many dreams at the guidance of our ancestors, and we'll take it by any means at the guidance of our ancestors. And our final destination is worth more than life itself, so we're willing to gamble our last heartbeat to recapture that rhythm. And our decision comes with ease and selflessness. It was us who were so one with God that we proposed to nature, using the rings of Saturn as our circles of love till death do us part, and then some eternal. It was us that first documented our sunbeams. We committed our bodies to the ground, leaving these words as inscriptions of our testimonies, planting our one gleam, and prayer that it will unearth in our daughters and son dreams, vowing never to allow them to wake until it's time. And when the words begin to rhyme, we'll step to the side and watch as they rise, ascending to the ancestral spirit of a poet, spoken as we become the elders of now, who shall speak of them, proclaiming it was us. We've turned movements into movies. Our black queens have descended into groupies. Gentle giants and conquering lions have neglected their purpose and serve as serpents and snoopies. And when the truth breathes, we're suffocating in the wind and passing it off as a cool breeze. Meanwhile, the police have us down on 2 knees, as if we're all on the block trying to move keys. But truth be, most of us are on a higher conscience like an early version of the Fugees. Message to the evils, whereas you wage war on us your own and stage peace on live screen. Subliminal messages of hope submitted by pure-blooded violent criminals. You were named by your own definitions. The missing words in national depositions, the missing notes in national anthems. You sample chaos and mass distribute to the rest of the world. And outside of the 50 states, you're hated by the rest of the world. And what you don't want the rest of the world to know, become atomic targets and nuclear fears the rest of the world. You bomb your secrets in foreign lands and offer aid to the foreign man. Meanwhile, people of color in this country still suffer. American soil fertilized with the remains of Africans, fruit grown in the spirit of the African. But to look back at your growth causes you to look back at them, those Africans who held your world like Atlas, and we still don't hold a fraction of status in your atmosphere. You hindered the brightest stars in the constellation in an attempt to strip us of what we were made with. And yesterday the History Channel channeled my frustration, because now they're saying our pyramids were built by aliens from outer space. Perfection in stone, clone, rock, identical circles, too heavy to be carried by man alone. You're too stubborn to accept the reality that when you tap into lost brain matter, the world is built. The evidence lies in the language we speak, that anguish we keep is stored energy for the babies we reap. And in our streets, society has grown from the sky down. We've been to the top, now we're learning to survive down here, then ascend home when life down here is over. We just take different routes to get there, and our efforts are sincere. But because sin's here, it's a daily struggle to live up to the God spirit resting inside. The best of us side with positive energy. Our mirrors reflect positive imagery, while our hearts bear the crops of divinity. Conscious infinity, infinitely growing and knowing the roots from which we come, so we too can bear fruit of our own labor and give honor to our own Savior. But we're gonna need you in the days ahead as we did in the days of old. And although our oppressor misrepresented you, packaged you in a white box and shipped you to the land of the gold, to be sold back to us as a mystery untold, we still connected to your soul, whether in part or in whole. The mere vision of you is a token of freedom and liberation. To deny your resistance is resistance to a higher power instead of a power that be. My spiritual contentment won't allow me to acknowledge the power that's not me. My special connection to God, then knowledge grants me the power to be free. Which brings me to the topic at hand. I'm not a proud American, because the manner in which America was embedded inside of me, through means of rape and torture and hate and slaughter, even before my eyes can see. And with a straight face, most of my teachers lied to me, until a special few ignited a fire burning inside of me. Message to the evils, God is watching, taking notes of your forsaken quote to the ailing folk who vote for you, place their hopes in you to lead them to a better tomorrow, unaware that you're to blame for this sorrow. They borrow empty dollars to invest in their own enslavement, cause the payment is their lies, their demise is an added bonus. Soldiers police the land in fear of a darker man with a darker plan to bury us within the earth's core. They went from white sheets to blue uniforms, and you're back and they're attacking, and the black man solidifies our lack of hope in you. Your progress is godless, and from the beginning prophets spoke of you. Message to the evils, God is watching, and he's holding you accountable. So be advised you've been spoken to. Sincerely, Starchildpoet of the chosen few. Message to the evils. Drowning in the sea of your emotions, suffocating in the wind of your despair, burning in the fires of your passion, floating on thin air. I wear love as a badge of honor, and many days as bloodstained armor. I sleep in the arms of your beauty and wake to your pain. Loneliness has a sense of power, and the smell of brown liquor offers a sense of calm. In tropical storms, monsoons, and flash floods, saturated in the callousness of selflessness, the absence of self in a relationship of two, the absence of me in the web of you. I used to put you on a pedestal until you looked down on me like I was dead to you, and that changed me and altered us. I used to offer up my soul wholesale to you. I used to offer lifelines, I used to offer lifetimes. I wrote nighttime stories of a dream life spent sinking in the abyss of your eyes. Euphoric tales of premonitions of love's journey with you, only to end in dark tunnels with no light. Trapped in the darkness of my own fears, closed in the malice of my own heart. A monster of my own making. I'm making histories with no future. I'm useful to others. I'm used to lying under covers, dreaming in color in dark rooms, alone. Alone in the corners of red couches from a previous dwelling, telling anecdotes of a romantic quotes of a time when the world was calm, composing proses with roses in the center of my palms. I wrote psalms in the form of ancient love ballads that speak of a new me, newly formed in the mold of divine passion. Now I cry to keep from laughing. I'm laughing at how lost I was, and how often I yearn for the sacred matrix, or at least to be comforted in the presence of your perceived greatness. I hate this feeling, I hate not feeling numb to the one I should love most, myself. Myself has become a foreign term. In my own home, in my own bed, I don't even know who's staring back at me. In my own mirror, I mirror the blemish of slowly dying sentiments, sedimented in an ocean of tears. I'm tearing the fabric of who I am, losing a piece of what I once was, and now a piece of me wants to go back to a time when love was pure, when love was the cure for an ailing heart. I'm sailing in deep rivers, trying to find my way back home, but home doesn't look the same. Drowning in the sea of your emotions, suffocating in the wind of your despair, burning in the fires of your passion, floating on thin air. Dedication. This is dedicated to those who've been accused of the sins of their accuser. This is for those who've been abused by someone who's been abused by someone but refuses to become an abuser. This is for the men who cry invisible tears because their pain is viewed as a weakness. This is for the men who live for others every day and die by the weekends, only to wake by Mondays to repeat the cycle because you're relied on for defense against the perils of the world. This is for the nice guys who were never given a chance, who would run in the fire with 2 left feet for the woman of their dreams and watch as they dance with the next man, then complain of nightmares. But they're still right there to wipe their tears away. This is for the near-perfect husband willing to sacrifice his best years away, for the complacency of never really mattering. For the saddest thing in the world is a strong man who's lost his battery. This is for the kings who wear cracked crowns with missing jewels, lost in the rabbit holes of the world that hates them, but needs him still. Desires that he moves towards the fire, but needs him still, like statues of stone used as a backbone to create homes. I watched as they stood on his hardened heart to appear taller. I watched him fall to the ground like the leaves of autumn, and the beauty they see is death to him. They bask in the aesthetic of his closing eyes, his slow demise. I watched Monday morning sunrise mark new journeys of new raindrops. He weathers the weather. So when I pen this letter, I dedicate this to the man who I've watched from a distance and wished him better. I traveled through many lifetimes on many lifelines, surviving pipelines, and in the end, what did I find? I found a path to the high skies where the skyline is my view, and if you only knew the loneliness, you could be in crowded rooms and be by yourself, but it's only then when you find it's a worthy investment to buy yourself. I live in my truth. When the truth hurts, I speak in the tongue of the truth, the whole truth, but not the whole truth. Nothing but the truth, so help me God. But the truth comes with an uncomfortable sense of freedom, so help me God. Fantasy. I would like to dress you in nothing more than an oversized t-shirt and grandma panties, or simply nothing at all. I want all of you. For visions of you are medicine. Ill-fated memories of ghost moments erased in winter's air, replaced with images of you. This form of remote happiness makes dark days soothe easily, like homemade soup meeting the gusts of January wind inside my lungs. I breathe better simply by staring into your eyes, and I want another look. I want to lie you down and take another look. I want to caress your body and feel the changes in me. I want you to straddle me, and while I grab you in a place, but instead of pulling your hair tonight, I want to pull you near. I want to feel your heartbeat and sync to its rhythm. I want to take you to a place that's unforgiving. I want to sleep tonight, and when the moment is right, I want one kiss to create worlds uncharted. I want to lose the memories of once being brokenhearted. I want to immerse my pen in the ink of your soul and write for hours words that can continue in time and sound like songs when they roll off the tongue. I can make music with the way you roll off the tongue. I'll compose lullabies with your responses, refrains of replays of heartbeats strumming at 3:44 in the AM in the basement of the portion of the brain responsible for lovemaking. This is coded language for the fact that I want to feel you. I'm penning pages for the fact that I want to feel you deep down inside, and deep down inside I want to feel. I want an erection that can heal. I'm yearning for protection in your smile. I wish for the sun to remind us of past years and missed memories. I want the memory of you to exist like stars. I want the feeling of me inside of you to remind you of who you are. I want to find an antidote in your climax and swallow your remedy. I want to reach places in your soul that remind you of a time when you were once whole. I dream of holding you, and after many years, through many lifetimes, I dream of knowing you. Air drying in wet sheets, I wanna never awaken from this wet dream, saturated in silk linens in you. The beginning of many evenings swimming in you. But in the meantime, just know that in some far familiar land, there's a man who dreams of you. I wish for the betterment of my people. I wish we can come together and weather the seasons. I wish for even playing fields. I wish Jesus would truly take the wheel and ignite a drive within me. I wish I could one day be able to look in the mirror and learn to forgive me. I wish we can lose the candles and keep the fire. I wish we can lose the church but keep the choir channeling the higher power of harmony. I wish we can save the world with artistry. I wish I could master music and poetry. I wish I could sing in the lowest key and vibrate from the lowest chakra to the top of my crown. I wish a 15-year-old boy didn't have to die in my town. I wish an 18-year-old man didn't have to die where I live. I wish bullets didn't have to fly where I live. I wish time was patient and gave us flowers now. I wish our hearts weren't so hardened. I wish we could plant winter gardens and watch as they spring in the spring. I wish niggas knew the origin of niggas and stepped in the footprints of kings. I wish 2020 was just third eye vision and a great time to raise kids in. I wish social distancing only applied to COVID. I wish COVID was like Ebola and didn't claim as many lives. I wish the chosen were open to the notion of the needs of the broken and unheard. I wish I could heal a mama suffering with 3 minutes and 10 seconds of spoken word. I wish for peaceful rest that night. I wish to be the best, or at least a better version of my yesterday self. I wish relationship was more important than religion. I wish enslavement wasn't the basis that shaped your religion. I wish you can see God without the patriarchy. I wish you could see God within me. I wish divinity was universal. I wish we could practice being godlike with no rehearsal. I wish our sisters didn't need protection from the protectors. I wish our babies didn't feel so rejected by the very people they're taught to show respect for. I wish we were more dependent on our own. I wish we can recreate the establishment on our own. I wish we didn't subject ourselves to 4-year cycles relying on the very people with a vested interest in lying to you. I wish I could have fallen deep in love with my dream girl. And I wish for world peace, or at least the peace of the world. You acting like you really care when you don't really care. Cause if you really care, then you will be really there. Nowadays people act like you really theirs. The absence of you is what they really fear. They really scared. They really scared. Cause the day that you're not really there is approaching really near. And the counterfeit stepping and walk is looking really clear. And they really stare into my eyes and see that I no longer really care. I no longer really care. When I'm dead and gone, they never remember me. Not even a memory, just my energy is useful to friends where they weren't friends to me. Then eventually, when they mention me, essentially had it seem as I lost it mentally. Mental penitentiary to the end of me. It makes no sense to me, and what gets to me is to the left of me is the right people who ignite evil, trying to take what's left of me. It's destiny, for even Jesus wept for me, and he accepted me as the mess of me, because all he could see was the best of me, not what's left of me, but what's left of me. You acting like you really care when you don't really care. Cause if you really care, then you will be really there. Nowadays people act like you really theirs. The absence of you is what they really fear. They really scared. They really scared. Cause the day that you're not really there is approaching really near. And the counterfeit stepping and walk is looking really clear. And they really stare into my eyes and see that I no longer really care. I no longer really care. Emergency needs love. I used to be the seeds that conceive love. Now all I wanna do is conceive love. I see love from a distance. I'm wishing I could forget the aforementioned path of love paved with good intentions, but unable to listen to the cries within. Like searching for yourself in new moons, only to find that everything you need lies within. Within a hollow, once hollow soul. Pieces of me scattered on tan carpets in 3rd floor apartments, overlooking rivers. I used to wander aimlessly on River Street. I loved you more when my smile was natural. I loved you more when my style was to match you. And your love became a natural habitat, but after a while it's a batch like it wild naturally. But I loved you more. And the more I thought of you, the more I saw my heart sawed in half. And half my days I spent half amazed of the time spent making you happy. Take you to a world unknown on half-empty highways, 20 west southern skies and quiet nights, with a warm air clouded with burned grass and burned memories. And a burning desire to absolve you of love's burning fire that has constantly burned you. I've searched through your soul to learn of you, to learn of the pain that lives in beautiful eyes. You're the beauty of AB rhymes, and in these wild and crazy times you made me feel alive. You made me believe that love can occupy this vessel, and we could have crossed an unknown threshold where you may be mine, and maybe it's all in the mind. Maybe it's lost in time, but I loved you more. I loved you more when my smile was natural. I loved you more when my style was to match you. And your love became a natural habitat, but after a while it's a batch like it wild naturally. But I loved you more. And the more I loved, the more I found that love is something no one should ever have to endure. It's pure in a tainted world. And I was thankful that you were in my world, and now it's shameful and painful in my world. And you were the missing piece, but now I'm missing peace. Kissing to me was like sealing letters of the heart. I'm trying to fly with severed wings and missing feathers and a broken heart. I once wore blue until we danced till the sky turned blue. And this world we knew felt like honeymoons for new lovers who never knew love, but knew the feeling was true. The feeling of you filled me with fresh air, and I woke many mornings staring at you, knowing these moments were right. And now it's just lonely nights, but it's only right for me to say I loved you more. I loved you more when my smile was natural. I loved you more when my style was to match you. And your love became a natural habitat, but after a while as a bachelor I get wild naturally. But I loved you more. I loved you more when my smile was natural. I loved you more when my style was to match you. And your love became a natural habitat, but after a while as a bachelor I get wild naturally. But I loved you more. Rosewood, an old-time love story within the darkest tales of history as a backdrop. A man named Man willing to risk his life and slay demons for the love of his life. I loved you with my life. I loved you more. I come from Poughkeepsie the musical, where one off note can leave you on the corner of Main Street in the crossroads to meet the creator and the ancestors who didn't make it to 2020. Growing is knowing I never had many close friends, but they did. They became complacent with greatness without a sacred bond, and I've been submerged in the shallow lakes and ponds of loneliness, afraid to simply stand up. I tried drowning a burning soul with alcohol and only created fires and desires only an empty heart could acquire. I tried suffocating in the smoke of green leaves and incense, platinum and black onyx, party lights now lit for the occasion. I come from Poughkeepsie the musical, where one off note can leave you on the corner of Main Street in the crossroads to meet the creator and the ancestors who didn't make it to 2020. I once fell in love with a burned bridge and tried to fix the bricks, put her inner beauty back together again, and now I'm out of love with falling in love. I've simply fallen in a hell of hate for everyone who've opened my eyes, corner abrasions, and the sunlight hurts. So I wake the midnight hours and move out the rest. I lay exhausted and from nothingness, loud music softer than silence, and that lack of sound has me hungering for your voice, yearning for the gentle spots on your inner soul, for your inner glow. I come from Poughkeepsie the musical, where one off note can leave you on the corner of Main Street in the crossroads to meet the creator and the ancestors who didn't make it to 2020. And your eyes were motivation for my waking days. I used to make love to my dream, and now I loathe in my nightmares. And many days I choose not to sleep. Many days I lose pieces of me. Many nights I watch the sun race to the sky, and only then does it feel right to suspend consciousness and let the music stop. Where I'm from, voices are endless. The strings strum painful stories. The horn rings to a mother's sting, and the key unlocks hearts of lovers if they had hearts. I come from Poughkeepsie the musical, where one off note can leave you on the corner of Main Street in the crossroads to meet the creator and the ancestors who didn't make it to 2020. I come from Poughkeepsie the musical, where one off note can leave you on the corner of Main Street in the crossroads to meet the creator and the ancestors who didn't make it to 2020.